The Mahomet Library creates a welcoming community that empowers everyone to learn, connect, create, and grow. Here today with some book recommendations and to tell us about their upcoming events is Rebecca Strom. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so what books did you bring for us this month?
Yeah, so February, as we all know, has Valentine's Day, so I thought it would be fun to bring in some romances and rom-com type stories. So I've got a couple adult books and a teen book as well.
Okay, great. So starting down here with The Bodyguard.
Yeah, the first one is called Hello Stranger. It's by an author named Catherine Center, and it is a story centered on a struggling artist named Sadie, and she has had this stroke of luck where she's accepted as a finalist into this portrait competition.
Okay.
But it also coincides with the surgery that she has, and after the surgery she comes away with this condition called face blindness, meaning she can't see faces.
Okay.
Which makes the portrait painting a little bit difficult.
Oh, interesting.
And so as she's like grappling with this new condition, she's also starting to kind of develop feelings for her neighbor and also a veterinarian who's very charming, and so there's a little bit of romance as well. It's a very fun, lighthearted read with some fun twists and turns as well.
That's so interesting because I've heard of face blindness because they used it as a device on a sitcom I used to watch.
Okay.
And so the lady literally would look at you and look at me and think we were the same person.
Yeah.
So that sounds like such an interesting concept for a portrait painter. That's really fascinating. All right, what's next?
So the second one is another adult novel. It's called Verena Palladino's Jersey Italian Love Story. The author is, let's see, Terry Lindafino.
Okay.
and it
almost fails, check the book.
Check the book. It follows a widow named Verena who has lived in the same house all her life in this town in New Jersey. And her mother and her daughter kind of hatch this plan to find her a new boyfriend. But at the same time, the men in the family have these big life changes that is going to throw everything for a loop. And so it's about this kind of dysfunctional yet functional family and the dynamics between them. It's a really funny, lighthearted story with a lot of heart at its center as well.
I like that. I feel like right now with everything that, you know, goes on in life and real life can be hard sometimes. So when you just sit down with a good book and it's just upbeat and chill, and
absolutely,
I love that.
Yeah.
All right, great. So if you want something light and airy, that's your book. What's next?
Yeah, so the third one is actually a teen book. So this is called I Was Told There Would Be Romance. And it follows a teen.
Lied.
It follows a teen named Fancy, and she is like the most dramatic girl at her high school, and she is desperate to start a relationship with her crush. At the same time, she's having some family issues. There's some drama between her and her parents, and she's really just trying to do whatever it takes to get her happily ever after. It's, again, a really charming story with family, with romance, and also all of the typical things that teens are dealing with, like school and extracurriculars and all of those pressures, you know, that they deal with in everyday life. So it's a very relatable story that I think will a lot of teens will appreciate.
That's good, and I like that there's a little something for everybody, all different ages, all different reading levels. And then this book I see has a tiny little yellow sticker here in the corner. What is this book?
So we actually have a program at the library called the Lucky Duck Shelf, and this is a specific shelf at the library with some of our most popular adult fiction bestsellers, you know, like those new bestsellers that everybody is wanting to put on hold. And so we order specific copies that are Lucky Duck copies, meaning these books cannot be put on hold. If they are there on the shelf, you can check it out and take it home. They check out for 1 week with no renewal, so basically you get it and you have to read it and bring it back. But it's a really great way to get those, you know, hot new releases without having to wait in those long hold lines. So if they're there, you can check them out. And this example is a Danielle Steele novel, one of her new books, and she's a very popular author, so hers are always in high demand.
Yes, and I feel like sometimes something trending on social media will make a book really popular, and then there's all these holds. What is the most holds you've ever seen on a book at once?
I don't know the number off the top of my head, but when Fourth Wing became really popular, I think it was this last summer, it was like crazy. I mean, there were hundreds of holds in our library system. It was crazy, but that's definitely been, I think, that and a lot of Colleen Hoover books, I think.
Okay.
Over the summer had a lot of holds on them.
A lot of holds, but you might get lucky, so go and check
Yes.
that shelf.
Yep.
All right, great. And then you have a couple of events coming up, right?
Yeah.
What events are coming up?
Yeah, so we do a monthly program at the library called Adult Crafternoon, and it takes place on the third Tuesday of every month. And this month we're going to be decorating canvas tote bags.
Oh, cute.
There is registration required for it, but there are some spots available. So like I said, it's every third Tuesday from 1 to 2:30 for adults. Registration information is on the website. It's super easy to sign up.
Great. And then you also have a board game thing coming up, right?
Yeah, we're doing a game night at the library. One of our library staff members is really into board games. Her name is Ashley, and she is going to be teaching people how to play the game Wingspan, which is a very popular game. And so she'll kind of walk participants through the gameplay, and then they'll get a chance to kind of play it together as a group.
That's great. I actually have played Wingspan. I love that game. If you're a bird person, it's one of those games that has little fun facts on the card, and it's themed to where the birds go in different categories based on where they would actually live in the wild. So it's a little bit, it has a little bit of an educational element, even though it's a very high-level strategy board game.
And it's super popular. And we actually, so we have a board game collection at the library, and that's one of the ones that's often checked out because it is so popular. And
I really like that the library does that, that you're able to go and borrow a game, because then it's sort of a try before you buy. Wait to play a game, see if you like it, see if your family would want to keep playing it, and then you take it back when you're done.
And we have all kinds. We have strategy games, we've got card games, we've got, you know, educational kids games, we've got all kinds of stuff. So.
Everything. Well, thank you so much for all of these book recommendations and for all that information. That's great to know about the Lucky Duck Shelf for sure.
Thanks for having me.
If you want more information, you can visit us on the web after the show at ciliving.tv.